Okay, so today we have probably the most worth watching video that I've ever had on my channel. I have the great pleasure of the champion of RBET Indianapolis, so basically Nationals for Edison 2025, Sasha Egger will be on the channel talking about the deck, in-depth card choices and stuff, but also just the format and beyond into Yu-Gi-Oh! So the beginning, he is showing the deck, and it's like a video that you'll probably want to like look at. But beyond that, we're just talking. So you can have this on in the background or whatever. So without further ado, let's get into the interview.
I played Vayu for the event, mostly for a couple reasons. One is I feel like even the bad matchups, you can still win. Like, I don't think like Machina is like that. It is like a hard matchup game one, but like decks like Amaryllis aren't really played anymore. And that's Titania is a big problem for the deck. And the Frog matchup can be kind of annoying sometimes, but after game one, it's a lot easier. And it just matches up with the combo decks. Forg's a little bit better because of the pressure it can do, and also deck heavy. So I'm just going to I'm not going to go over that much about the main deck because it's very standard, and I'll talk about some of like the siding and answer a few questions afterwards.
Okay, cool.
All right, so for the monsters, Dark Armed, Gores, 2 Caius. Some people have been playing 1 Caius, and that kind of makes sense because I had a few games where I drew 2 and it was kind of bad, but I think the upside of it is worth it. A lot of times you are siding out 1 though, going second.
I feel that with Celestias, basically.
Yeah, well, I feel like Pure Life doesn't. Whenever I play any deck that has 3 Celestia, I always side out 1, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Sork, which was pretty good for me overall. Not really too dead. I do side out some matchups. And then standard 3 Sirocco. Really great card. Being able to set it with deck Devi and against Blackwing's a huge beater. 3 Vayu. Standard. Nothing much to say about that. The standard 2 Greffer and 2 Armonite. I side the 3rd Greffer, but you don't really want to open 2 Greffer. If you open 2 Greffer without a piece, that doesn't really do anything, and you're forced to like discard things you don't want to. But against the decks where Hamster is bad against, the 3rd Greffer is very important because it gives you more pressure. So I side in against like Lightsworn Frogs, combo decks, things like that. And then the Flip Engine, 2 Hamster. It can be kind of bad in some matchups, like even going second in the mirror, I side them out. But it's so solid against Blackwings. Like if you just set this against Blackwings going first or second, it's so awkward for them to deal with it if they don't have deck Devi or they make Dark End because they can't Icarus it, and they have to, even if they go like Sirocco, Bora, pump, attack, you still have like a Raikou follow-up on the next turn. So it really helps in that sense. 3 Raikou. The flips are not good against frogs though, which is a thing that is frustrating sometimes. And then the 1-ofs Plague, Necro, which I think might be the best. I think like these 2 cards are probably, besides like the obvious Dark Arm return, probably like the best cards on deck because Necro just lets you take attacks while like having this over your opponent's head where you can just like use it in the perfect situation. And against like GBs, it's amazing. Protecting Chaos Sork is so good. And then Card Trooper, just always just been a great card. And of course Gale and Plague. All right. The standard spells, just the Searchers, Rhoda, and Charge. I play Charge and the 2 Hamster because I play 41, which is the standard with this build because it makes Sword a little bit better. If I would play 40, I'd probably cut 1 Hamster and just play 40, but sometimes having an extra card to side out helps as well. And then Allure, Ring Control, Burial, insane card, and then Heavy and MST, standard. And then just the staple 1-ofs. Have to play them. This card is the most broken card in the deck. Like, I would have lost a match against Ultimate Offering Frogs, if I didn't draw this in games 1 and 3, I was just completely toast. Had like just like one card. I mean, this card is not okay. And then 2 deck Devi. Basically, in this deck, not only does it give you the information, which is crucial, even in decks it's not that good against, but it keeps your guys in the graveyard. So you can have a situation where, like, if you summon Armwing into a back row or a Sirocco and they like bottomless or deep rose in it, you just can chain the deck Devi, keep the monster in grave, and then you get the extra. It's just so good. Obviously, there's some decks that's not as good against, like Machina. It's not that good against pure Lightsworn, but it's very good against Black Rings, very good against the Mirror. It's just an insane card. And then the last 2 bottomless, and then 2 deep prison. And I'll just quickly go over extra deck because it's standard. Token, Fortress because of Cyber Dragon. 2 Armed Wings, which sadly sometimes it does come up that you need the 3rd one with certain games, but usually it doesn't. If I didn't plus size Cyber Dragon, I would play the 3rd one, but it only comes up once in maybe like every 40 games, so it's not really worth it.
I think it's the tightest extra deck in Edison by far, basically, value.
Yeah. I feel like any deck that plays Instant Fusion, though, is really tight.
True.
Because you have to play like Darkfire and then like a level 3, and then sometimes like you can't even play Cyber Dragon then. 2 Armor Master, very good. Silverwind, Armory Arm for like Ryko and Mind Control and stuff, and then the standard. These are just the good ones. I mean, Brionic and Goyo are the best ones. This comes up a lot with Return, Stardust, Dark End, which is also great with Necrogarden, and then Thought Ruler and Colossal Fighter. Yeah, these are just pretty standard. Usually, you're not going into like more than 1 or 2 of these in a game that aren't the value monsters. But yeah. So in the side deck, so 2 Cybers, basically just against like the Mirror. Like a lot of times, I've just like put in 2 of these and for the hamsters because it can like put pressure against Greffer. I put like 1 in against Blackwings usually, and it's pretty good against Lightsworn as well. The one matchup is really not good against is Frogs, which is fine, but you don't want it against Frogs because it conflicts with both oppression and it just doesn't do anything. Like it's not worth it. 3rd Greffer, talked about that. Very good. 2 Dyna. This was pretty solid for me against the Frogs I played. Sometimes against Hero Frog, they have a lot of monsters that can run this over and have stuff like Soul Exchange and more traps, but if you get into a situation where you can like special a monster and then summon this, where you just ensure lethal, or even just set it as a way to like kill an Ab-Zero and maybe like something like that, it's very solid. This card I do not like, which is Crow. I only sided 1. I rarely sided this at all in the tournament. I don't side it in the Mirror. I would side it against like Twilight, I guess. I kind of like it against Prisma GBs because you can hit like Bestiari or Chariot. But
being able to hit Chariot, too.
It's just a very frustrating card sometimes, and it doesn't really like. I get in the Mirror if you like. Let's say you like Crow of Ivy or something. If you're not specifically stopping like a deck Devi play or like stopping Plague, you didn't really do anything, and it's a card that gets killed by deck Devi. Like if they deck Devi you have to chain it at the if you have it in your hand, so it doesn't feel very good. And then, this is like one of my favorite cards in the side deck. I think it's so good. It's just really useful. I just like coming back. I just think it's one of the most impactful side cards. And then this is for taking stuff with the Mirror or for taking flips. And then Excited Solemn, which I don't mean. Basically just for anything that isn't Blackwing or value. It's just solid. You just want it to protect like stuff like oppression, or just honestly, you could even. There's no wrong answer. If some people like maining this, I personally don't, because against Blackwing or value, the Sirocco pump can just kill you. But there's not wrong to main it. That's just a preference thing. And then 1 Rug, which I added. I sided this in. I didn't really resolve it that much, but it seems fine. There have been Hero Frog has definitely gotten like it was declared dead, but then a lot of people are still playing it, and pretty good against Machina. as like a one of. I think it's like an okay card. I feel like Mask is sometimes good, but against Hero Frog, I like Rug more because um, being able to just stop the Caius is just because a lot of times if this is Mask, they can like Raigeki Break or Dust Tornado it, and they know where it is, so then they can still like summon Caius, or they can just hold their monsters until they clear it. And then the last cards are just 2 oppression, obviously standard in value, very 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 good card, and then 3 dust because I don't want to lose to Black Whirlwind, and I want to draw it against Black Wings. But
Is
I mean,
is
you
it
can also
not?
do 2, I guess. I just side 3 dust in like every Edison side deck.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, you love that card. Is it really just for Whirlwind or like?
Well, it's just that's the only matchup I'm siding 3 against. Like I would
Okay, yeah, yeah.
some matchups I might do like I like siding 1 against Machina or sometimes in the mirror because if any deck that plays Raikou, if you just set it and then just bait out the Raikou, it's not bad. It's also not people really haven't been playing this, but like Iron Wall can be kind of annoying or randomly like decks like Gadgets because they play like Shadow Mirror. Shadow Mirror like kind of good against also Skill Drain is really good against Vayu, so you just need to have it. It's just a good against like road decks and stuff.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so that's the deck. I mean, it's very cookie cutter. There was a lot of values in top 16. I think there was 9 values and there were 4 mirror matches in top 16 of just values playing each other, which was pretty funny. I think it's probably I think that and Hero Frog are the best Edison decks, and I don't really know. Like I played Hero Frog for a while, and it just has some issues that I find frustrating sometimes because you have to draw like the right combination of the engines together. Because if you only draw heroes, you have to draw like the frogs, the heroes, and the monarchs in like the right order sometimes, especially against certain decks like Black Wings, which can be tough sometimes.
Yeah, like obviously Vayu, I think it's not a secret that I think that it's like the Fox of the format, basically. So like
That's fair.
the best partially because of like you said, it's very versatile.
Yeah, it is because it can like the reason like it can just go off an OTK with the heavy monster hands with Greffer, but the being able to just grind slowly advantage over time, and also it just matches up very well against Blackwings, which is always going to be one of the best, if not the most popular deck in any tournament.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah.
Yeah, especially at like bigger events like that. I feel like we don't have that much Blackwing
No,
representation.
no, but like a good like rule of thumb is like any big tournament you go to, probably 40% is going to be combined Blackwing or Bayou. Maybe a little bit less, maybe like 35%. But that's kind of also why I don't main deck Solemn is because if I'm expecting like almost half my matches to be against a deck or Solemn was bad game 1, I wouldn't want to main it.
Yeah.
And that's also like why I don't main deck Oppression. But I would main Solemn ahead of Oppression though, if I had to choose.
Okay. Yeah. I guess like with all the Vayu in Top Cut and all the Edison that you play and all the Yu-Gi-Oh that you've played, I'm curious with the idea of the long tournament and like the fatigue, both like mental and physical, which are both related, obviously. Uh, when you are playing, like roughly what proportion of the thoughts that you're having are like new thoughts versus kind of, experience you've been in these situations and you're reapplying knowledge?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say like basically um a lot of times like in a tournament you want to like especially if it's like a somewhat if it's like a more less complicated game state, it's not that hard to be you sort of just have to be like okay, here's what the ideal play is. But if it gets tricky when it's like more complicated or a situation where there's like there's a decision branch where you could be like I can do the more risky play or something where you have to make a read on something. A thing that is like really important is like when you make a read, let's say you're making a read on a back row. When you use it to influence a play, you need to like keep the same read when you do something else because if you looking at the same back row at a following turn and be like I thought this was deep risen, but now I'm thinking it is bottomless. You can't make the correct play because you need to view it as you viewed it in the past because you can't that basically just like you're psyching yourself out by a decision that had already been made from the results of the previous actions. But yeah, I think it's also just I feel like when I'm playing in tournament, I'm pretty focused and um mostly just trying to take things slowly and make and think things through, make sure I don't miss something obvious, and kind of just be not trying to go like super crazy fast or basically just thinking, especially if when it's something like that's like a crucial thing at the end of a game, like you're like double checking the math, like, oh, I'm going for game. I don't want to be like 100 points short or whatever.
Mhm.
I think, but the physical thing is real. I mean, I played 12 rounds on at the tournament, which is the most like Yu-Gi-Oh in a tournament I've played in like many years, maybe ever. Because I never like I don't know. I topped regionals back in the day, but those were only like 8 rounds, so that's like 9 rounds total, if including top cut. And it was challenging at points, but um yeah. So I mean, it's definitely a thing where the experience of like having played a lot of different games and formats and games in Edison and also other formats, there's not that many things that are like, oh, I've never seen that before. Like even against the Ultimate Offering Frog deck, I had played against that player online multiple times before, so I actually had known about the deck, and
Mhm.
I wasn't taken by surprise by of like, oh, I'm not going to set a bunch of back rows where I can get chain block and breaker, but it can pop 4 back row in 1 turn, or
Mhm.
I'm gonna let this back row go against frogs. Like I might have to consider leaving in MST against frogs to hit the offering, or even siding in dust. So that's like a kind of a weird thing because it was really funny. Everyone was like, "Oh, Ultimate Offering Frogs is just like cooking people," and I'm like, "Yeah, like I know, like that is I played this multiple times before."
Yeah. No, that deck seems like A, more real than people were acting like it was, and B, like it benefits from people not acting like it's real or like not knowing about it yet.
Yeah, because basically it's sort of like kind of a little bit. It's a little bit like Forgs, but you need like less specific cards. Like it's like a sort of a lower to the ground Forg combo deck that can OTK you, but also it can just like summon Caius in your opponent's battle phase, or summon two dupes in the battle phase, or summon Dark Spirit in your opponent's battle phase.
Yeah.
Or setting the zombie decks that play Ultimate Offering always crack you up because they can just set Fossil Dino in their opponent's battle phase and then they just run into it, it just pops everything.
Yeah, it's funny too that it's like a normal, so you can, yeah,
Yeah.
you could keep using it after Fossil Dino's on the board, even like, right?
Yeah, because you can also do like two summons. You can be like summon swap effect, then tribute for Caius from starting with no monsters if you have Ultimate Offering.
All in one, like,
Yeah, because the summon would have to resolve, but
okay, yeah, yeah,
because you can chain offering to offering, so that's how you make things with timing. So if you have like Breaker and your opponent has like a set bottomless and a set solemn, if you go pay 500 and then you chain offering to pay 500 again, summon Breaker, you can't bottomless or solemn that because offering is the last thing that happened, and then Breaker would add the counter as mandatory effect. So, and because you're bouncing like Spear of Chaos and Junk Synchron, and then you can also like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool deck.
yeah, no, it seems cool and real,
There
but
was another guy I think who lost the last round who was like X2, like almost top playing it.
really? Huh.
Yeah,
Okay, probably someone that he knew, like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It was his friend. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, so I guess just kind of with the idea that you had played this guy online already in mind, roughly like how much do you play Edison specifically outside of tournament?
I probably play like maybe like 3 to 4 games online, matches online, like a day, and then maybe I usually play like at locals like once a week, and then maybe like another time during the week with some friends, but not. But I play. I don't just play Edison. I play a bunch of other formats too, but that's definitely the one I play the most. But yeah, I mean I still enjoy it. I feel like there are problems with it, but compared to some other formats problems, it doesn't feel as bad,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like I would rather deal with um Edison's problems than double Sheehan set double warning turn one uh or like I don't know.
Yeah, like it was kind of random that Edison was the one that was picked, but like it worked really remarkably
Well,
well.
because it does have that like the set after Edison, the Shining Darkness set completely changed Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it made the three decks, Frog FTK, X Sabers, and Infernity. Like Infernity had three launcher.
At Nats that year, right? Too.
Yeah.
Right? Or but I guess there was Frog FTK too, so that was a great.
Yeah. I think X Sabers was like three of the top four, but then there were some people who topped with frogs, and then frogs won worlds. Uh, but I mean, X Sabers were really they were like because there's also like a bunch of weird traps in that set, like Crevice from the Dark Dimension,
Yeah. Hmm.
where it's you can banish two monsters with the same attribute from your opponent's graveyard, so you can like hit like double Treeborn or like double Ronin Totem.
Yeah, there's
Because like
Ronin Totem, yeah, obviously.
yeah, everyone's like main decking Crow because if you didn't main deck Crow, you just couldn't win. The yeah, it's a good point because the format before Edison, a format I am a fan of, even though it is very sacky and stupid, is the zombie Lightsworn format where Lightsworn just has everything. And it's the first format with Lightsworn where Crush Card is banned. So Lightsworn does not have to worry about getting Crush Carded, which was always a huge problem because you could just lose like on the spot. You still have three Charge, three Honest, three Lumina, three Necrogardna, and zombies had three Brionic and two Mizuki, three Burial, and three Tragodia, and two Foolish. So it was like a pretty fun. And Blackwings still were really good. Blackwings still had three Whirlwind, but Gale was at one. So it was like those were like the three best decks. But the because everyone thought like after the ban was like Lightsworn is dead, zombies are dead. And zombies are kind of dead, but they're more playable than people thought. People like no one even tried to play zombies in the actual Edison format. They're like this deck is dead. What's the point?
Okay. Whereas you definitely started the format
Yeah,
being
I played
Edison playing
zombies for
zombies,
like
right?
a year. That's still my favorite. The hero zombie deck is my favorite Edison deck. It obviously is not as it can definitely do like it's kind of like a mix of Diva Hero and zombies because I play like miracles, but I play like the zombie engine instead of just playing like Gold Stark and stuff. And I played it for like a year and a bit, and then I played Hero Frogs for a bit. But I just kept losing to frogs and losing to like Glad Beasts and Deck Devi and stuff. I was just frustrated. But it still is my favorite Edison deck, and I think it is uh it is one of those decks where there's a lot of like skill expression because of there's so many different like avenues you can go. Not only the different versions of zombies, there's like five different versions, but just each game you have so many different options of how you want to like do a play or like it's not at all like a linear deck. That's why I think people are kind of scared of playing it. Not only that it has issues, but it's not an easy deck to play. Because if you use a bunch of resources into a back row and you summon Brionic with Goblin Zombie and you get bottomless, you're probably gonna lose because you're gonna need that later probably. Or you're gonna just like it's not you have to be very like both very careful but the thing is like it can this is gonna sound really stupid, but like if you don't get deck dev or repression against value, like the deck just beats value. Like this is a better the cards are better. And like you have stuff like skill drain games 2 and 3, which is really good because you can make Stardust really easily. So it's definitely possible, but um it's definitely I wish it was better. But it's understandable why it's not, considering that it's the second or third best deck in the previous format that got hit like lost like 7 or 8 main deck card and extra deck cards from the previous format. So
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Then it's like
because
basically nerfed
right,
zombies, you
it
know?
used to be with two Mizukis, like you could go like one burial with like two Mizukis and like plague or like the Eva Goblin Zombie was like 4 synchros. It was like Brionic, Goyo, and then like an 8, and then like another 6. And like you'd place because like what the thing is Lightsworn they main deck Oppression then too, because they would main deck Oppression because that also main deck Shrag. So if they like they could just Oppression you could just get beaten down by like a huge Shrag, and then they could also steal your stuff. And they main deck like one Christia because they just play 3 Honest, 3 Celestia.
That sounds like honestly like basically just a more broken version of Edison, kind
Yeah,
of.
well, because Charge was a TCG exclusive, and that's when the ban lists were the same.
Hmm.
So they didn't put Charge at 1 until it was out in the OCG.
Huh. That
'Cause
is
three
wild,
because
basically.
3 Necrogardener was absurd also because you could just go like a common turn 1. You'd be like you sit down, you like your phone is like place Charge, Lumina, special Garoth, mill like 2 Necrogardenas on a Wolf. And you're just like, do you have like Lightning Vortex, or do you have like even something like Brain Control Caius doesn't even fully answer the whole field. Like it's so far behind where because the other previous formats like Lightsworn was good, but stuff like Crush Card and decks that were better, like Gladius were better then, Synchro Cat was better. They kind of kept it in check, but then they just without the no Crush Card thing was like really, really huge for Lightsworn.
Oh yeah, because because Crush Card was like out in Gold Series and readily
Yeah,
available.
so Crush Card was legal basically as so at 08 from like 08 Nats until the September 2009 format, it was legal.
Okay.
So basically like 3 formats. So Teledad, the end of the GB format, which GB was the best deck, and then the Cat format, it was legal the whole time. But Blackwings did not. I mean, Blackwings were really good then because of Dark Strike Fighter, but Vayu wasn't out yet, so they couldn't fully abuse Crush Card because Vayu was not out until the next format. But like the amount of Crush Card targets he will play, like Dark Panther and Cat, you can like copy JD, even like people played like multiple Gravekeeper's Guard. It was really because in the mirror, you did not want your spy to get mind control because mind control was at 3.
Mhm.
So if your spy gets mind control and they have Cat, you could just die because they could go summon Cat, summon 2 Dark Strike Fighters, attack, and then pop both for game.
Is
So
that
if you
exact
want 2
game?
Gravekeeper's Guard and 1 spy, because Guard also could deal with Herc.
Guard's
Yeah,
not awful. I mean,
Guard is good in
at 1,000 attack in that instance. It's
yeah,
obviously
because you could also like Crush Card Monk when you set it. Because when it's set, you can still tribute it, even though it says you can't be tributed.
Yeah, when we did the thing at Josh's that one time, I was thinking of Monk, but then the fact that you can't do it face up at least held me back from a Monk build, basically.
Yeah. I actually think that GBs were like so insane because GBs with 2 Cats and 3 Solemn is just not okay. They're, being able to just like go into Herc so easily, like I think it's like is crazy good.
Honestly, yeah, Rescue Cat is a very strong card. I had Josh under like Cold Wave last
Yeah.
night. Cold Wave Celestia, he's still just
Yeah. People play like you know what Sea Koala does?
that thing drops something to 0 attack if you have another
Yeah,
beast.
so you summon it off Cat. It's level 2. And you summon with Arabellum, and then you target a monster, then make their attack 0, and you run it over with the koala, and then you rip a card with Arabellum. So it's like another Cat target that you can summon that basically just clears another monster.
You make like an android or something.
Yeah, because Catastrophe was not out yet,
Okay.
so that was solid.
Huh. Yeah, no, that format, yeah, it does just sound like actually broken. And again,
The
I
problem is like it was also really dangerous because a lot of decks played 3 Solemn, but if you just Solemned and you just like didn't have anything else, you're just gonna die to Dark Strike Fighter. Like the game's gonna because Dark Strike Fighter is like if you take like 1 Shura after you've played Solemn, you're dead. The game's over. I mean, they get Gale's at 3. There's 3 Whirlwinds. Uh, like there's no because some people were playing like Ultimate Offering Blackwings with Dark Strike Fighter.
did it get to a point where them paying life points made a difference in their
No,
duels?
because they would just kill you.
Oh, okay.
Because with 3 Whirlwind, like and Allure is at 2
They're
still.
just gadgets, basically. Like,
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, Dark Strike Fighter was not an okay card to be exist. I mean, it's just so stupid. I mean, it just was like they did kind of like how Goya was like 2800 for no reason. Like, how did they not at least make it like once per turn? How did they make it that you could do it in main phase too? Like, as much as I hate the erratas, like that was errata. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That should never have existed.
Yeah, like
Also, as a
where it's like
machine,
it would have been potentially an interesting card if it
I mean,
was
it would have still been
strategy
sick,
version like
but
original.
being able to just go like Sirocco Bora, or like Sirocco Gale, pump attack. Because like with sure, because it's just Shura is just so good, but three Gale is just insane. Because Black Rose, that because there was the other deck that was popular. This wasn't deck wasn't quite as good, but the Salvo deck was you basically just play like two Decoichis and like two Salvos, and you play like two or three Mind Control with three Cyber Rally, and you try to just basically just like kind of just outgrind them by just keeping on Black Rosing them
Mhm.
until eventually you just can kill them, and then like their version of that side deck Skilled Rain, because Skilled Rain was pretty good then. This is a very stupid format. I would play it. I would definitely play it sometime. I have a cat deck built.
Oh, I'm looking at my questions to see if there's any that we haven't really touched on. Um, I guess like one that I'm interested in, do you like watch content about Edison? And if so, is
Yeah.
it to learn or for fun?
Yeah, I think it's like a mix of both. Like I feel like depending on like I don't know. I like watching content, especially like if it's people I know too. I like kind of just watching like sort of I wouldn't say like I take it that I feel like I don't really watch contact for the sense of oh I'm directly thinking about how this is going to apply, but it's more just like oh here's a general sense or oh here's this interaction I didn't know about. Like I had a thing I was playing online a couple weeks ago where I'm playing Gigaplant and my opponent is playing Machina Quick Draw Heroes, and he takes my Brute Drago with Plasma and he puts his Titanium on defense. I literally have zero cards. I draw Mirror Force. I set it. He attacks with Plasma, and I Mirror Force, and it Brute Drago effect does trigger. It's like Light Pulsar Dragon, where I got to summon Gigaplant, and I won because his Titanium was in defense, and I was able to summon my Titanium and kill it. Like that's like I always like when I can learn something that I don't know about in terms of that's just cool. I also like just watching like kind of stupid decks. Like one of my favorite videos ever was a Carpath video where he showed a guy playing Doom Kaiser Assault mode with Zombie World, and he summoned the guy's entire graveyard and killed him. Ugh.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, like okay, that makes sense. Obviously, that yeah, like it's not like you're looking at a True Heroes Black Wings guide
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. It's just more like I just kind of like I like watching it. I also just like hearing like other people's perspective about the game in terms of like how they approach certain things or certain like side decking strategies and things like that. I don't know. Just more just like to get the sense of it, but I don't I don't like watch content of being like my goal is to do X or Y. It's
hmm
just more like I also feel like I've played Yu-Gi-Oh for so long that I don't really need like it's not like there's anything that crazy that I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
I've been I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of crazy stuff like one region I remember it was in top eight. I was like I won game one. Game two, I got like double dust shooted and mind crushed on turn one. And then game three, I'm like in a decent position. I have like two monarchs, and I just lose the feature overload, and it's just like it's like damn, sucks. But a lot of times, like you kind of just have to. This is another thing where it kind of is frustrating. Sometimes you have to like decide if you're like playing around one thing or the other, and you have to like decide like, do I lose to this or do I lose to this? And sometimes you guess wrong, and it's frustrating. Like I had a match in the top 16 where I was trying to put my opponent under brain control, and I was like, I lose to Gores, and he had Gores, and I was only able to win because I had like an extremely lucky mill of Raikou. But I would have lost. But I think my thinking of I think the higher percentage chance that he had brain control than Gores still made sense to me, even though he did have the Gores. You just sort of have to think about like, because what happened is he had stacked it with Plague. So
Hmm.
I'm like, why would if he had Gores, why would he stack it on a previous turn when he could have used it? Because like if I had gone off the previous turn, then he couldn't have even summoned it. So I feel like you just have to always take like look at the situation and just sort of like how people say like the game like tell like it tells a story of what's going on. Like if you summon a monster and the summon's gone through, maybe it's a higher chance it's a battle trap, or if the attack goes through, then you know it's like it's probably not. Depending on what monster it is, like you sort of just have to like you're kind of making a note for yourself about what cards it might or may not be. That sort of can help you get a better sense of uh things, but also you don't want to always be like married to that because sometimes it can be something that isn't true. And this can kind of like a really a thing in the mirror in the value mirror that can be really annoying is a lot of times like when you're trying to figure out like when your opponent might set return where you can like Caius it or like you can stop it before they use it and sometimes that is just I mean it's just you just miss and there's like oh I just wasted this resource and I might lose because of this but I was going to lose for the return and that can be really frustrating. But I feel like with that's kind of like not that bad because it's such like a game swinging card where you literally can just die. Like even if it wasn't return, I feel like it's if you're in a situation where your opponent has like game if they have return, it still makes sense to me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah, no, like I completely feel you, and I've almost even described the game to people who don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! As like the goal, of course, is to win, but like the goal is to like make the right decisions, and then you
Exactly.
can't be
Yeah.
mad, you know?
Yeah, because
Like,
if you make the right decisions, even though it might not always have like 100% success rate, over time it will maximize your success by I don't know. Sometimes it's also like a thing think about where like if you have a situation where you can go for game, you should always take it. Usually,
mhm,
like you can't if you just wait for your opponent to you're like oh I'm scared of Gores, I'm scared of Battle Fader. You might they might draw it in a turn that you don't go for it. So I feel like that's obviously not talking about like going through backer or whatever, but there's certain times like usually if you have a chance to win, you should do it.
mhm.
But I mean, sometimes you might lose to Gores, and that's okay because the odds are that they don't, depending on what point of the game it is, that they wouldn't have it usually.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I guess like that's basically most of the questions I have. Other than that, it's just like, do you watch content about Yu-Gi-Oh in general, you know, and that's not like Edison stuff or
Yeah, I do. I somewhat like, I would somewhat like kind of follow certain, like just like what like the new modern cards do, just because I like kind of like keeping up with. I haven't played Advanced since 2013 Dragon Lore format, but I sometimes kind of just like to be like, oh, I know what this deck does, and it's kind of interesting sometimes. But I have no, I don't know. I watch some like hat content sometimes and some Tengu stuff. I like Goat too sometimes as well, just following. Uh, it's because it's a different type of thing. But I don't like. It's not like I'm actively using that to. I'm not like trying to get back into playing advanced or anything. I think it's kind of. I just kind of like having some information about what stuff is going on.
yeah, no, I feel you. And at least when I, yeah, like first got out of the game, similar era, yeah, like I knew what Necros did even though I wasn't playing, you know, for example. But like I definitely don't know
I like
as much.
red. I like red like Necros of Brionic. I'm like, how is this? How is this deck? How is this deck real? How is this deck a one card Genlock with one Manju? That deck was crazy.
Yeah, I don't regret missing out on that.
Yeah. Also, there's just like so many floodgates too. because even like BA was like main decking like Mistake and
Or
like
that.
in order to beat Necros, they had to like the amount of floodgates people are playing was just insane.
Yeah, so I guess as far as the RBET, if there's anything else you want to say about it or any other final thoughts,
Yeah, just shout out to everyone at locals and my friends and everyone who supported me. Um, means a lot, and thanks to everyone who has like reached out. And yeah, I'm gonna keep playing, obviously. Probably not sure when my next decently sized event is gonna be, but um yeah, it felt good after to win something pretty big after a long time. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
been years and years and years of I don't know. It felt great, and I just think the only way people, if you want to get better, you always just have to keep playing and keep being open to learning and not thinking that you always know everything because there's always more stuff you can learn. There's always more ways you can improve.
Hmm. Yeah. I know we're all very proud of you. I know that I would have gone last weekend if I knew they were getting you a cake. Like,
Such a
um,
such a sweet thing.
yeah, no,
And
that's
then
awesome.
I ended up getting fifth because my friend Jeff, game three, he milled triple wolf turn one against me.
I don't know if I've
He
ever actually seen the
okay, so
legendary triple wolf.
game two, I'm like in a decent spot. I have like a oppression and like a set bottomless and like a set value. He has four cards in deck, by the way. He goes Trunade, Chains Beckoning, Celestia's down to zero cards. Double JD for game three Necro. And then game three, I like set Raiko and I like set Mirror Force because I'm like maybe because he's playing like two Arcus. He goes Recharge, Mills Wolf, Celestia, Mills Double Wolf. And the game is just it's over.
I
But
was milling a lot of wolves last night, to be honest, like, but
yeah,
never
Wolf is
three like
so
that.
so good, man. Why is it so good? Why is it so like? Why is it? I feel like it shouldn't be 2100. That's too much. And I
But
always say like I think red DR should be 1500 so you can bottomless it. I think
that would
it
make a
should be
difference.
like I think Wolf should be like 1950.
That would
Honestly, make it 2000. I think 21 being able to get over Sirocco and like crash with like Cyber Dragon is like really annoying.
it'd be interesting if it was 2050, so it could get over Sirocco, but not Cyber Dragon.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Lightsworn is just a some there's some cards that are just it's just really frustrating to play against sometimes, for sure. I think also just it has a pretty good value matchup, just like the regular Lightsworn. Because it just deck type doesn't really do much against it.
Yeah, yeah, I think
It's
so.
just a lot of times just too fast. Like you kind of just are trying to yeah. Especially now if people are playing like two or three Arcus, it's like God, my Arcus is so good.
Yeah, Arcus is ridiculous. Like, yeah, last night I was just like normal Arcus,
It's
attack four
it's so
times.
good. Like because like Arcus honest, like there's nothing like only things that beat that is like Mirror Force, Retrenchal, or like Vortex. And it also does like weird like a small thing that you like it protects your guys against Crow in the graveyard.
Mm,
So
yeah,
if you had like I don't know, actually that probably wouldn't come out because you can't even Lumina with Arcus face up, but um
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just really solid. I still I kind of want to play Twilight again sometimes. So I think that deck is like randomly kind of cool. You can like play Armageddon Knight and then send Dark Arm and Reincarnation it.
You can send Armageddon or Dark Arm and do what?
Play Monster Reincarnation. So you just
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
okay.
you just Armageddon Knight, send Dark Arm or whatever. And then because you can play like Rhoda because you play a bunch of warriors and then you can just like it's just like a random the deck is just kind of just like a random bomb deck.
I didn't realize the like Black Garden Armageddon Night stuff that you could do.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. You can summon Monk. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and like go off basically.
Yeah, the thing is like you have to play Black Garden to do that, which means people. There was a Black Garden guy who was playing like Black Garden Pac-Man. He was sitting next to me like round four, and he lost a game where he like morphing jarred for six because his opponent like drew heavy. But he was playing like Golem Sentry and like Wave Motion Cannon. I think he was might have been like X1 going into like round seven or so.
Did you think he was at a goat event? Or
I mean, he was playing Black Garden, but it wasn't like I was like, this is literally just Black Garden Pac-Man. Like, I don't know. That seems crazy to me. I
yeah,
still don't understand how that Black Garden deck got second. That deck looked like maybe people just really did not know what Black Garden did.
I don't know what it does. That keeps me from playing the card.
Well, the really annoying thing is it stops priority. That's like the most important thing. Is like if you have Black Garden on the field and somebody like specials JD, you cannot use priority because Black Garden.
It's always going to be chain link
Yeah.
one.
And the yeah, I don't know. Black Garden is just an annoying card. I don't know if you've ever played the Ancient Gear Frog deck that plays Black Garden. It's really fun. So
No,
basically, you're just playing like it's kind of like a Frog Monarch deck. You're playing like no traps, but you're playing like three terraforming, and you're playing like Mausoleum and then Gear Town and Black Garden. So you can like basically you can just either like summon Lad by just like paying 2,000 with Mausoleum, or you can just have a field. You can easily get a field of like Gadgetron Dragon, something else, and then you have Black Garden. Or like Prime Material is really good because you can have that with if you have like Prime Material, Gear Dragon with Black Garden, that's like impossible to break. And then you can also side deck a lot of funny cards like Hino Kagasuji because you can just like pay 2,000 with Mausoleum and just rip their whole hand, which I it's very funny. Uh yeah, I mean it's definitely because you can like the there's like because you can also like side deck like the other ancient gear guys that are kind of good, like Beast.
yeah, that card's real.
Engineer is not bad. You can summon it with the Gear Town. It's kind of a bricky deck because sometimes you kind of you get a situation where um it can block the field spell can block your Treeborn, but a lot of times it doesn't even matter because you can just you're so far ahead.
Hmm.
And you can also like just like pay 1,000 with Mausoleum to summon Dark Dust Spirit and pop the field, which is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Cormac special.
I know. Is it Ben from our locals? It kind of plays not Black Garden build, but like the ancient gear guy, basically. He's done
Yeah.
some mausoleum
There's
stuff
definitely some
before.
better the week that Scott beat me with the ancient gear Gravekeeper deck was so stupid. He road triggered me for five game one. Because that deck like is randomly decent because it plays like the psychic monsters, so you can like convert the spellcasters. And if you just have like Gadgetron Dragon with like Royal Tribute, this is pretty good.
That's yeah. That's yeah.
But the bricks are bad.
Yeah. I love and hate decks like that are like, all right, I'm probably not going to win, but I'm going to ruin it
I
for
hate
other
them. I
people.
just would never play decks like that. I can't deal with like if I wanted to play an inconsistent deck like that, I just play Dragon Turbo. That at least like is going because the thing with like with GK is in Edison is you can just steal like Royal Tribute for a ton of cards and just still lose because the deck
Yeah.
doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like the with Necro Rally not stopping certain things and like not stopping like Treeborn and stuff like that.
Yeah, my very first Edison event, I brought some like just more or less dark devastation virus brew that I didn't know Necro Valley was bad, basically. And my opponent was playing Flamvel, and I'm like, okay, great. I can I can stop the rekindling.
Yeah, another one of my pet decks that I think is fun, but I think that would I just it's not good enough is Flameville Zombies. I think that deck's fun. I think it's you can do some fun stuff with it. Problem is just the eights. Like that deck is kind of nice because you can just make like you can play like two or three Dark Ends because you can just summon Dark End with like Magician and Goblin Zombie or Spy. And yeah, Flameville is kind of a cool deck. I respect it.
Fire Dog's too good not to respect. It's too like solid of a card to not like at least
I
like
feel like I played Flameville like around the time of actual Edison.
Did
I
you?
wasn't playing that much, but I was like, I think I was just like playing like a pretty basic flame build deck.
The only question I had on my list that I did, what were you playing around Real Edison? So that's funny.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I played. I think I was playing flame. I don't think I went to that many tournaments around that time. I played more the formats like after Edison, with like the stupid fish OTK and samurais and like gravekeepers were really good. Um, yeah, and like the format. I think the format before Tengu is pretty fun. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah,
there's some stupid
that's
stuff, but
that was my first regional. So I'd love to have anyone
yeah,
care about that.
I
Like
kind of like that format because I think Titanium is like still like kind of good because you got two lone fires. So
I played quick draw at said
yeah,
regional. Like just like
you know
raw
what card
dad.
is randomly not bad in that format. You're gonna laugh at me.
What is?
Doom Caliber Knight's good in that format.
I thought about asking for three Doom Cows for Christmas when I was a kid. Like I wanted to play Stun or whatever really
Well,
bad.
because it just traded with Tengu, so that was like the biggest thing. Because if you kill a Tengu with Doom Cow, they just don't get any value off it. So and people didn't really main deck Maxi C as much then. So, I mean, they maybe main like one or two Veilers and maybe like sided Maxi, C, but it you couldn't just like, oh, here's Maxi C, just pop your Doom Cow. But the combos you can do because that format had you had three Avarice and you had three Black Rose. Like
That was
yeah, I
also
don't know.
around Gold Series 4 when they got the reprint, I think. And like I remember
Yeah,
trading
Doom Cow
Mythic
wasn't
cards.
expensive. Maybe because the Ultra then was maybe like 20 to 25 bucks maybe.
The
I
turbo.
remember I like main deck two in plants.
Huh.
Maybe I was like really bad, but because agents were really good too. Because like agents were just like insane. Because they had three Christia still.
Yeah.
Tengu Christia is at two, which is like still like really annoying, but three is just so much.
Agents were
Hyperion
my first.
Hyperion is not a card it should have been. Why can you just call the haunted it? Like that's just so stupid. Like you can just mill it with Card Trooper, you can discard it with Herald, and then just call it haunted. It's like, all right, here's a Dark Arm Dragon that's 2,700 that you can banish stuff from your hand to summon it.
Is it once per turn to pop?
Yes, but you can
Balance.
use priority still exists, and you can banish stuff from your hand if you need to. Because you have to banish an agent to summon it, but then you can banish a Light Fairy. So you can banish like Shine Ball from the grave to pop, but you have three of it, and
Hmm.
you still have like Christia, and you still have like in Tango, the deck play is usually like BLS, two Christia, three Hyperion, sometimes like Sork, like two Trag and Gors, and that's like 10 cards in their deck. Yeah, and you can do stuff like you can go like Hyperion, use the effect, bounce it with Birdman, and then summon it again, and use the effect again.
That Tengu event we did was fun. I think no one played agents, right? Like zero people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, there's some definitely some fun Tengu decks that are. I wish X Sabers were a little bit better. I mean, obviously they kind of were good for a long time before that, but
Yeah.
no cat is the Thunder Kings and the hand traps are just like it's just not good.
Yeah, like I because yeah, again, that's more when I played, but I don't like it as much as Edison, I don't think.
No,
But but
no,
yeah.
there's a lot of things I do not like about Tengu, and most of them revolve around Gravekeepers. Just being able to, I don't even think the deck is like that crazy good. I don't like that the style it just doesn't. It's just so frustrating to play against. Like I don't mind playing as agents. I don't mind playing as heroes. I like the plant mirror. The I've been playing like the 32 monster fairy deck in Tengu, which is really fun. That Pudding made. Do you know about that?
No, I don't
So
know.
he topped their 3v3 team in Vegas. Topped. I think they went like 6-0 in Swiss or something. And he basically played his Chaos Fairy deck that he plays in Edison, but he played it in Tengu. And in Tengu, you have three Chaos Sork and BLS.
Yeah.
So basically, you're getting to Christia, but also with Dialk, you can just reuse BLS and Sork over and over again. And then stuff like Tour Guide is really good because Tour Guide gets you to Sangan, which gives you like you can search Raiko to help recharge Be Live. And Yeah, I mean it's just a really cool deck because you can also do stuff where like you like can crash an alchemist, summon Tragodia, and then like take something main phase two, or like um it plays like Soul of Purity too, so you can manipulate your fairy count. 'Cause basically it just plays like all the good fairies, all the good darks, pretty much. It's a really fun deck. A lot of times you just lose though because you lose to your opponent reborning your Christia and you have no outs to it though because it plays no traps.
Sounds like not a fun way to lose. I hated getting my shit big-eyed back in the day.
Big
Like
Eye's
I am
insane.
winning and you're gonna win because I was winning now.
Yeah, the thing is, Big Eye is also just like as like an EEV turbo card in Dragon Rollers also. Yeah, the card is insane in half format. It's so good. I mean, you can just Mermails can make it so easily. Like the restriction of it not being able to attack like does not matter. Like if you're just taking a because you can also like do like if your opponent like has like a Dragon Ruler and you're playing Mermails, you can like take their Dragon Ruler and then overlay with another seven and just not detach the Dragon Ruler so they just can't get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
might actually go play Hat on. I think we might be playing Hat on Sunday at Underworld. I'm not sure, but I
Hot dog.
was happy I did not enter the fake Hat event though.
That obviously was a fiasco. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally built my entire deck to beat Geargia, and then there's like Geargia, it's like not even there.
I actually don't understand how that level of miscommunication happens, so it's hard to
Well, it
assume.
was just a weird. It was a weird because the thing is people kept asking, and then they would get different answers. Like, oh, it's first turn draw. Oh, because the thing is, what was weird is everyone who had done they did like 25 hat pods before Sunday, and
Yeah.
everyone, no one was like, yeah, we got to play these. Everyone was just playing the regular rules with the first turn draw. So, I mean, yeah, it was just not the best. I also just think it just was not it's just not the same format. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just not it.
All right. Well, we are kind of coming up on the hour, so thank you, obviously, for being willing to do this.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun.
Especially after already doing it on the Edison Club podcast. Like, I honestly thought you just were gonna be that basically. I waited too long, and I wasn't gonna get to do it.
All right, well, I appreciate it, man. Have a good rest of your day and a good
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah. Congratulations again, and I will have this edited hopefully by the end of the weekend. I don't know. We'll
Oh,
see.
all good. Yeah, appreciate
All
it.
right.